This young man named West, and West said that he grew up outside of Asheville, North Carolina. Now, when he was 16, he got his first job at a auto mechanic shop. And he said this one particular night, he had got done late working on a vehicle, and so he had to drive 20 minutes back to his home. Now, he took this shortcut that cut through the deep mountains, and he said this area, there's pretty much nothing around, and it can be a very eerie drive at night. But he really didn't care, wasn't afraid of anything like that. Now, he said as he was making his way down this highway, he thought it was strange because he had his windows down and he couldn't hear any sounds outside, which was unusual for this time of the year because you'd hear crickets and, animals and different sounds of nature. But this night, it was just completely quiet. So as he continues down this road, he said he just got this overwhelming sense of dread. And he said he just started freaking out, and he remembered hoping that just around the corner would be some signs of civilization. But he said it was just nothing but darkness. And he remembered looking up in the sky, and he could not see a single star. But it wasn't a cloudy night, and there's no lights around, so he should have seen the stars pretty well. He keeps getting more and more freaked out, and he said, he started to go a little faster. Well, he said all of a sudden, out of one side of the woods on the road, outruns what he thought at the time was a dog. He slams on his brakes, but it was too late. He hears thump, thump. He hits something. Now, in his head, he's thinking he hit a dog, and he's like, oh man, I'm going to have to go explain to someone that I hit their dog in the middle of the night, and, he was pretty upset about this. So he gets out of his truck, and he said the first thing that he noticed was this stench of something rotting. And he said, how could this already smell like something that's rotting when I just hit this thing? So he goes around to the front of his truck, and he said when he looks down on the ground, he sees what looks like a half-naked man combined with some type of wolf or dog. And he said this thing all of a sudden stood up on two legs. It made kind of like a weird sniffing sound. It turned and took off running into the woods on all fours. So he gets in his truck and he hightails it out of there. He makes it home. He's terrified. And so he goes down into his basement. He grabs his rifle. And he said he's sitting down in the basement. He was freaked out at this point. And he's just waiting, thinking this thing might come to his house. As he's looking out this sort of sliding glass door that's down in the one side of the basement, he can see the woods. And he said he could see two eyes staring at him from the woods. And he sees this thing kind of moving around. So he opens up the glass door and he fires a couple shots into the woods. Said his parents come downstairs freaking out, like, what are you doing? Why are you firing off rounds in the house? And he said, well, there's some kind of animal outside. I was trying to scare it off. So he said after that, he thought okay, it's gone. It's not going to come back. But then he said a week later, he hears a knock at the door. And when his dad answers the door, there is this man. And he said what was creepy about this man is he looked like the guy he had supposedly hit on that road, except he looked all human. And he said he came in and he talked with his dad and said he was new to the neighborhood and just wanted to meet the neighbors, and he just had this normal conversation. But he said he kept glancing over at him, and he said still to this day he gets the feeling like he's being watched.